Well, I think like any baby, you gotta name it.
Literally, the Live Like Her challenge was, okay, let's spend a night sleeping in a car to live like her and have a sense of what it feels like to live in a car.
And they presented us with this idea of a Live Like Her challenge, although it wasn't called Live Like Her challenge, it didn't even have a name at that point, it was just a sleep in your car challenge. And they wanted to deliver it in 5 months. I thought my head was going to explode.
And I was in the back of my head going, I half want them to say no, there's not enough time.
We decided, you know what, this event is going to be really pared back. This is just going to be an authentic, as much as you can, an authentic experience.
Understanding to live like her is, well, what do I put in the car in the first place? What am I going to take? How am I going to brush my teeth? And that kind of stuff.
First, okay, well, you know, people won't have eaten probably by the time they get there, so let's have a food truck. I think that at one point we just kind of stopped in our tracks and were just like, hang on a second, what kind of message does that deliver? They don't have food trucks and coffee trucks and bands and stuff when they get into their cars at night and go to sleep.
Because with the wrong set of circumstances, we could all be her.
Women and children sleeping in their cars across Brisbane is a real issue right now.
It was really important that people knew about this event. We thought that it would be really good to try and do a media launch to actually get like the commercial media involved, like television, print, radio. And we were lucky enough to work with the Brisbane Lord Mayor, Adrian Schrinner.
And I think look, you know, I've done a little bit of media, but I don't think I've ever done an actual media launch before.
For the media launch, we needed to keep it fairly basic.
It is quite an overwhelming experience.
And for me, keeping anything basic is, you know, I'm a little extra as it is.
And then there's the mayor, there's a lady mayoress, and then there's...
So we just had a 3x3 meter media wall.
I couldn't have been happier and more surprised how much the media picked it up, and, you know, radio, television.
You looked around in King George Square and we literally had every network, every newspaper, and then we're doing radio interviews on the side as well.
Live across Queensland, this is Nine's Afternoon News.
Hundreds of women tonight are sleeping rough, setting up their lives in cars because they can't access accommodation or afford it.
Is 10 News First Queensland with Sandra Sully.
Where do you go to the toilet, have a shower or brush your teeth?
Live from Brisbane, 7 News with Max Butcher.
We're being encouraged to experience what it feels like to be homeless by spending a night sleeping in our car.
I got home that night, I don't know, probably sometime after 7, and as soon as I walked in the house, everyone's going, we've just seen you on TV, we've just seen that, and there was this, relatives were calling going, hey, this is on TV. And so one, great, it clearly had a fantastic reach, but the other part of it was that it just tied so beautifully into what's happening at the moment with the housing crisis.
We came up with a concept of putting a tote bag together. I reached out to SeneGence, who offered to put in some skincare products, as well as a blanket that we had embroidered with the Forgotten Women logo on it. We also had bottles of water that we had branded. We reached out to ROPE, which is a disability organization at Redcliffe, who volunteered their time to come into the Trending Media studios. So we sat around a table and we rolled blankets. Some of them took the old labels off the water bottles and put the new Forgotten Women water bottle labels on.
After all the months of planning, the day finally arrived, and while we were still busy running around organising cameras and AV equipment and helping the event management side of things, we still had a media communications role to play. So we were still organising radio interviews and television crosses. We were lucky enough that Channel 7 actually came to the event and did a live cross into their 6 p.m. bulletin.
Of 55, it's estimated there are more than 700 sleeping rough across southeast Queensland tonight. Some are sleeping in their cars tonight. They've already raised close to $100,000, and that's expected to house 8 women for the next 12 months.
One of our camera operators, Jorge Nieto, he continually films the event from start to finish. It was really important to capture the rawness of the event, because it was really important to have a recap video ready at the end of the event, so then all of the participants, once they've completed it, they can then jump on social media and like, oh wow, there's a video, and they can share it onto their social platform. Obviously, Trending Media Australia, we're known as a video production company, but this event actually gave us the opportunity to showcase the other facets of our business, such as event management. We did media communications, we did the marketing, we did AV, and then of course we filmed the event.
When you get to work with the Forgotten Women, and considering Trending Media has worked with Forgotten Women since the beginning, you know, being able to see an event like this from its infancy and conception, I can't tell you of a project that I have worked on that was kind of that rewarding.
So successful and so rewarding.
The amount of money we raised just blew our expectations out of the water.
As our first event, we were like, okay, this would be fantastic if we would get about 25,000, that would be really good. And I think in the back of our minds, like, oh, imagine if you got 40. And when we're sitting around 15, we're going, this is great, we're almost at our 20. And of course, you know, ridiculously, we made 105,000. Fantastic. Way beyond any dream we could have had of what we were going to get that night.